next guest is an Emmy and Tony Award-winning actor you know best from his work in Angels in America, Westworld, and Boardwalk Empire. He stars in the highly anticipated film The Batman, which is in theaters and IMAX this Friday. Let's take a look.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Police action.
He's with me, officer.
Are you kidding me, sir? You gonna let him in here?
Martinez. Let him through.
Please welcome back to the show our friend Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
I'm not alone in being very excited about The Batman, but I'm also excited about this. You have 3 different projects about Frederick Douglass. You have an HBO series, an audiobook, which makes the most sense to me in the world because you have maybe my favorite voice of anyone working.
Well, thank you. You know, I guess, things are happening around us at such a rapid and intense pace that, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like Lucy, trying to wrap the chocolates, trying to take it all in and understand what's going on in the world. It's like, holy, that's a lot of chocolates coming at me at a rapid pace. So what I find healthy is, to go back and look at the history of things, as shine some perspective on events happening now in a way that, helps clarify. So went back and did a recording of the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, which is kind of, I guess, a companion piece to the Lincoln's Dilemma docuseries that just aired on Apple. But this book is just phenomenal, and it really gives us, in the midst of all the race discourse that's going on now, it's really brilliant perspective on some of the drivers that have brought our country to where it is. And Douglass is just brilliant, just brilliant. So check that out. It's really worth, because, look, Black History Month just ended, so what better time than now to check out Frederick, because it's American history after all.
It is American history. And the biggest mistake I think anyone makes is slotting Black history into 1 month when it's, it's crazy to think that it belongs in one place.
Yeah, because, black folks didn't do the slavery thing by themselves, Yeah. It took a village, as they say, or it took a nation. So yeah, so check that out. If only for the appendix alone, which is just stunning. He dissects the hypocrisy of slavery in America like a surgeon at a hog slaughter. It's just unreal. It's just piercing. So well worth your time. Well worth your
I'm very excited to listen to that. I'm wondering when you've obviously worked in big franchises before, Bond films, Hunger Games. Taking on Batman, this is, there's such a fan base, and it seems a growing fan base, despite the fact this is a character that's been around since, the late 30s.
Yeah.
Do you have any anxiety taking on a character like Commissioner Jim Gordon, or is it just exciting?
Well, you want to do justice to that fan base and to the history, to the legacy. It is 1939. It's 80 years of evolution of this thing. And I think because of that, but also there's something about Batman that unlike some of the other comic book heroes, he lives in a city that looks very much like that city outside your window there. So he's grounded in a way that maybe the other characters aren't, and it also allows for an interesting examination of the things, the issues that exist in a city like New York City, which of course was the basis for Gotham in 1939. And so you've got that, 80 years of fans kind of diving into this thing, and they have a deeply personal relationship to it. Unlike, much of what, I've been in some big franchises, but nothing like this. It really is singular. I think too that people, particularly at uncertain times, and we're kind of in uncertain times now, but I think people are yearning for a place to place their trust and to find hope. And I think there's a real, there's a powerful opportunity for people to do those things through these characters and through this film. It's not, they don't take it lightly. I mean, they're intense. They're like, don't screw up with my stuff, man. Don't screw. Do it right. Do it justice. And so, yeah, there's that pressure. But I think what we really tried to do was to focus on the essence of what these characters are about and what the franchise is about, and do that justice. And in doing that, do fans justice as well.
You talked about how it's based on New York, and we have a New York leader right now, Mayor Eric Adams, who you actually have known for a good long time as well.
Yeah, I've known him for a while. I first became aware of him in the 90s. I was in New York, and there were some pretty intense police brutality cases in the city at that time. And one of, and maybe the only powerful voice in blue who seemed to be speaking on behalf of citizens' concerns was Eric Adams. And I was like, wow, this guy is really compelling. And then, as it turned out, I moved to Brooklyn about 20 years ago or so, and he was the captain of the police precinct in my neighborhood. So I made a point to go over and just check him out, and and introduce myself. It's always good to have, a cop friend here and there. Batman knows that, So we went over, and we've been, we've been friends since, and now he's the mayor of our great city.
There you go, but even a better friend to have. Look at you.
You
traded up.
There you go. There you go. It worked out well. But yeah, I did use him as a reference for Gordon, because I've never played Gordon before, and those who played before were not me. So I wanted to find justification for my playing this role. And, I largely focused on the comics and, kind of the evolution of Gordon, from 1939. But Gotham's out the window, and there have been 3 black police commissioners of the NYPD, and currently we have a black woman, Commissioner Sewell. So there were touchstones for me in justifying my place in this role, and Eric was certainly one of those. Yeah,
that's wonderful. It's wonderful to have a role of such importance in your very safe hands. I do. I want to say before you go, I think about you all the time now.
Oh.
And I think about you. One, I think about you all the time.
I think about you, Seth, all the time as well.
But I'm a huge fan of yours. But also the reason I think about you all the time is we have a writer on this show who also happens to be named Jeffrey Wright. And in fact, I am surprised that he has not come out here yet.
But alas, I am here, and there can only be one Jeffrey Wright. So we must battle to the death.
Young man, you have just committed a most grave and consequential error, my friend.
You know what? You right. I mean, I go by Jeff. Jeffrey and Jeff. Two different names, and you know what they say. 2 rights make a left. Don't think about it. Hey, Seth, can I go?
Yeah, no, I think you better. Give it up. That's Jeff Wright now.
Jeff Wright.
Jeff Wright. And this is the one true Jeffrey Wright. The Batman premieres in theaters and IMAX this Friday, March 4th.